Hi, what's the difference between roast, bake and cook? If you want to find out, carry on watching. This is Susan Broder from Speak Languages and Travel the World, here to help you improve your English with minimum effort and maximum benefit. So in English there is the general word cook, which is just generally to make food by heating it in some way, so boiling it in water, frying it in oil. So cooking is just a general term, and you can also cook in the oven. But in the oven we tend to have two specific words. One is bake and the other one is roast. Now, where's the difference? So in general terms, I would say that you usually roast something which already exists in a solid state, such as a chicken. So you can have roast chicken, or a piece of meat, roast beef, for example. And generally it will have like oil spread over it so that it comes out a little bit crusty on the outside. So anything that is slightly covered in oil and becomes crunchy is usually roast. This includes roast potatoes, for example. We'll peel potatoes and we'll put them in the oven, put a little bit of oil, herbs, etc., and they become roast potatoes, roasted with the heat of the oven. But we can also bake things. Now, we prevalently bake things that we have to prepare in advance, which did not exist in a solid state previously. So we had to elaborate it, we had to process it. For example, bread. So bread is made with flour and oil and water and yeast, and this is a process, and then we bake it in the oven with hot air. We don't usually cover it in oil, and it may, yes, have a hard crust, but it doesn't become crunchy as if we'd put oil on it, like with roast food. We also bake cakes. We bake buns. Anything that's cooked with the heat of the air but was already processed beforehand, we tend to bake. An exception to this is baked potatoes. Now, where's the difference between baked potatoes and roast potatoes? As I mentioned earlier, roast potatoes have been smothered in oil, whilst baked potatoes are not peeled and they are just washed very well. So you wash the skin very well, and then you put the potatoes in the oven, maybe poking a few holes in, and the heat of the oven will bake the potatoes, but the outside will not become crunchy because we haven't used any oil, and inside the potato will be soft as if we had boiled it, and the outside, the skin, is dry. But it's dry, it's not crunchy as if it had been covered in oil and therefore roasted. Then we tend to cut that in half once it's cooked and put all kinds of fillings inside. Some people like to put butter in, some people like to put cheese, which when you close it a little bit melts. Others like to put all kinds of salads inside. It's very individual. So baked potatoes is a very typical English dish, but it's made with a potato just cooked with the heat of the oven and the skin, whilst roast potatoes are peeled and are then covered in oil and spices, etc., and then roasted. So this is the difference between roasting and baking. Of course, cooking, everything we're doing in the oven is also cooking, but we like to distinguish the method of cooking. Okay, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of other videos that I upload. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye. Bye.